Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest This is the Music Meets podcast. For episode 85, I'm delighted that Red Remedy, a band who are about to blast their way through the indie scene, are today's special guests. Over the course of the podcast, I'm going to be getting the lowdown on the band's first two singles, looking ahead as well to their forthcoming support slot with Frankie Dobson and lots of other cool stuff as well. So as I say, it is a very warm welcome to Red Remedy. Thanks very much for coming on. I'm loving the setup that you've got there this evening. How are you doing and where exactly are you?
Good. Right, I was singing bar.
Currently at my house in the bar.
Brilliant, fantastic. Yeah, I'm as I say, loving that. And thanks. As I say, thanks again for coming on. So we're going to come on to the two singles in a little while. But kind of like, can you just sort of go round and just introduce yourself to the This Is the Music listeners, and just let them know what your role is within the band.
I'm Zach Barlow. I play lead guitar and I do some vocals.
I'm Dave Welsh. I play rhythm guitar.
I'm Kyle Minto and I play the drums.
I'm Maddie Story and I'm the lead singer.
I'm Jack and I play bass.
Brilliant, great stuff. So just kind of like then, obviously you've put two singles out sort of over the last sort of 6 or probably a little bit longer than that, about 6 sort of 8 weeks or so. But kind of like then, how did Red Remedy start?
Starting in the car, didn't it?
Yeah,
That's not it.
Conversation between us two. Were originally like a different band, but me and him wanted to start a band, and then
We just sat in the car and was like,
Yeah.
should we start a band? And it kind of just escalated from there.
And then how then did you bring the other 3 members into the group? How was it? Did you know each other already before that?
Yeah,
Or?
it was from college. We were like a different vibe. We were like a lo-fi band before Red Remedy, and then
We were all over the place.
and then Zach joined them. We officially became like Red Remedy indie band. But yeah, we know everyone from college and school. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. And the name, what was the inspiration behind that?
It was on one of them app things. I think it was like a generator thing.
yeah, honestly just couldn't
Sure
find
was.
it.
We were struggling to find a name.
Wanted something catchy. Yeah.
Or something that was either like the same, like had the same ring to it, or like the same letter, which was catchy and like
Easy to remember.
easy to remember.
Yeah, no, yeah, it definitely is. I was trying to think, obviously, because you guys are obviously in the northeast. I was wondering whether or not if there was maybe a football connection or something with maybe Sunderland or Middlesbrough in there, but obviously I've got that wrong.
Everyone except Maddie, I'd say.
Right, okay. So kind of like then sort of going almost sort of, I guess maybe like earliest musical memories type of thing. Who kind of like then for you guys was sort of like the main influences for you, sort of first getting into music, and are you still sort of like influenced now by that same sort of band or artist? And I'm sort of kind of like thinking in terms of like maybe how you like play or how you sing. Is there any sort of connection to that at all?
I think for like personally, it would be like my granddad and like my uncle and that have always been into music, so they've got us in to that. But then like my first guitar teacher onto like people like Slash and then like Oasis and stuff, people with like attitudes towards music more than anything.
Yeah, sure. And how about you, Maddie? Is that a similar sort of thing for yourself?
I mean, music's always been in the family. Like a lot of my cousins play instruments and stuff, so it's always been around. But I went to a lot of concerts when I was young, so it's kind of evolved from that as well. Just seeing other musicians on stage.
Yeah, sure. And guys, just jump in whenever you want. When you want to just so.
Probably like the main band was probably Stereophonics, because it was just my dad's a massive fan.
Yeah.
And I've just kind of thought it was dad music when I was young, and then you just kind of jump on it when you realise it's actually quite good.
Yeah, I think quite a few people say that about them, don't they? But as you say, it is really good stuff, to be fair.
I think mine was my dad used to listen to Ocean Colour Scene a lot.
Yeah.
like being in the car, hearing that. But then my mum got us into the Smiths, which like heavily influences, especially with like weight. That's
Yeah.
really, like, Smiths. So yeah.
For me, it was like when I first properly got into music was the Beatles. I just bought like the red vinyl with like the kind of mix. Bought that, and then I went just down like the vinyl phase of just buying like every record possible. That's how I went.
Yeah, brilliant. Awesome. Obviously, some fantastic some choices in there, really, and obviously, absolute legends of the music world. So your debut single, "Wait," came out in June. It's an epic track. It really is. I've absolutely loved it since it first came out, and play it very, very regularly. I have to say, and it's had over 12,000 streams on Spotify so far, which is an incredible achievement. So, firstly, can you sort of tell us a little bit about the song and how it came together, and also kind of like as well your reaction to sort of hearing, debut single, as I say, 12,000 Spotify streams. Did you ever sort of in your wildest dreams imagine that the first single would do so well?
Definitely not.
No,
It
I
came
think
quite
we're
fast, though.
right,
It
so,
came
yeah.
like weirdly for the first one. It was not the first one written, but like the first one to release. It came quite fast.
I think we knew as soon as we wrote it that
Yeah.
that was going to be the one.
Yeah.
It just felt right.
Started out a lot longer, and with like, I think we shaved a lot of parts off of it and just
Yeah,
made it
lots
better in the
changed.
studio. If you watch there's like the first time we played it was in the bunker in Sunderland. There's a live video of that, and it sounds completely different to how it does, like as a finished product.
Our producers added loads to it, to be fair. Garage Studios.
Rent for like adding stuff to our songs. He's helped us make our sound what it is. I think definitely.
Yeah, sure. So you've been quite open then to listening to the producer. You haven't sort of gone in there with like a closed mind and been like, no, this is our song, so we've been rehearsing it, for however long. This is how it's going to sound, and we're not changing it. So it sounds like you guys are pretty open to having sort of ideas come on board.
Yeah, I think every time we've been in the studio, we're more excited to hear what it sounds like afterwards, because he just adds so many like.
It's good to have another person's perspectives.
Yeah,
It's like
Like
fresh
new ears,
ears. Like every time we go in, we're like, oh, I want to see what he adds to it. It's like I want to see how he changes this part and makes it like different, like the end. So we always are excited to hear what Kyle has started.
Yeah, sure. And in terms of actually like writing the song, how does that work? What's the dynamic like within the group? Is that very much just down to one of you, or you're all chipping in ideas? What's the process like?
I think it's me and Zane usually come
Yeah.
up with something and imitate everyone else.
Yeah.
But
Usually guitars first.
Yeah.
Guitars were always first.
lyrics often switch. Like Maddie will sometimes write the song, or I'll have lyrics, then Maddie will tweet them, or however.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, okay. And obviously, just a couple of weeks ago, you released your second single, Catalina. It's been extremely well received. Again, it's just had just over 3,000 streams as well, which is again fantastic. But this one sort of feels like it's got a hint of disco in it. I thought. So I hope that I've got that right. So is that kind of like maybe a direction that we can see Red Remedy sort of moving in to maybe on future releases, or is this kind of like that just sort of fitted the vibe of this particular song?
We just thought it was a good song, so we'll put it out. Basically,
It's
that's pretty much it.
It's been played since our first gig. Like it's one of the first songs we wrote and that we were really happy with.
We always ended on it though, and everyone kind of loved it. And like when we ended on it, it got a good like review from the audience.
Yeah.
So we thought,
I wouldn't really say we're trying to have just like one vibe, to be honest. Like,
I think most of our songs have different kind of vibes to them, which I think's quite cool.
Yeah, definitely. When we played a gig the other week, our headline at the Ship Isis, and we wrote a song the night before and was like, should we just play it? And the end of it's like really punky compared to like all of our other tunes and that, so we're not going for like one set sound. Because we all have like different influences from like all over.
Yeah, sure. And without giving maybe too much away, what was that you said you played that? Did you get a good reaction to that as well?
People
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah.
Well, actually, it was 2 new songs actually.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
there's
last
one
one.
in the middle of the set, but
The last one.
We're finished on like the new one,
It is an old one which we've rewrote it though. Like,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we played it ages ago, like one of our first gigs, but we just didn't like. We loved the lyrics, but didn't like the instrumental of it. So
It's quite slow. And
slow and boring, and we've just made it better. I'd say.
Yeah, people loved it though.
Your dad wanted to be the next singer.
Yeah,
Like,
my dad loved it.
Brilliant. Okay, so how then? Maybe for people that haven't heard Red Remedy, how would you describe your music, or sorry, I should say your sound, in 3 words?
Oh.
Very, very good.
I don't know. Don't know. It's hard to say because we haven't tried to like reinvent the wheel or anything. It's just beating stuff that we like. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to really put your finger on it. I think.
I have honestly got no idea. Like,
Catchy.
Catchy female.
Catchy fever.
Catchy female.
Okay, brilliant. So let's have a little look then at live music. Obviously, you've been gigging quite a bit across 2023 so far, but we're going to sort of concentrate really on sort of the last couple of weeks, really, and maybe a little look ahead as well to what you've got coming up, as well as we hinted on in the intro. So you've just supported the Manatees at Bobbick's, I think I've got that right. And then obviously, as you just mentioned there, you did your own headline show at the Ship Isis in Sunderland. So first of all, how was the Matinees support slot? And how did your headline show go? Were there any pre-gig rituals at any pre-gig nerves at either of those 2 shows?
The Manatees one was
The Manatees were really good.
That's probably, I
I
would
didn't
say,
expect them to be
yeah.
that good though, so I didn't know enough about them. Because they're from Southampton. So.
Yeah.
They used loads of like sample pads and everything. Like it was just really cool watching them.
like they were like a really good headline that we've seen. Probably one of the like best headlines that we've seen.
Probably my favourite headline that we've had.
Yeah.
I really get nervous now, like before
Yeah,
gigs.
do
It's
you
I think
now?
your confidence just builds as you go along.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And is there any and sorry, is there anything different from being like a support band to actually being the headline gig? Is there do you try and approach it differently, or is it very much, no, this is how we're gonna do it? And we just,
There's less stress when it's supporting someone because it's like it's not my gig. Like I'm just
You
supporting
do
you.
feel
Like
it when you're the headline because obviously like you're the headline, so everyone that's there is mainly there like for you.
yeah.
You can try and like sort of involve the crowd a bit more if it's your gig.
And
You know what I mean?
You're like doing it for all the other bands that are supporting you as well. So like you've got to make them look as good as you, I think.
yeah.
No, we really enjoyed our headline. It was really well received.
Probably our best gig, isn't it?
Our favourite.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, great stuff. And obviously, as we said in the intro, there you're going to be supporting Frankie Dobson, a guy that I know pretty well through the podcast. That's going to be at the Independent in Sunderland in just a couple of weeks' time, October the 28th. So, how did that gig come about? And I'm guessing you must be pretty excited to be getting back out playing live again.
Yeah, of course. The gig came about, I just messaged him, to be honest. Just asked for the gig and then we got it. But we played independent a few times. We haven't supported there yet, so looking forward to it.
We've always been the headline after Indy, so it'd be nice to take a break from headlining there. I don't know, like sit back and watch him play.
We don't have as many shows coming up, but the ones we've got are quite like big ones.
Yeah.
So we've got like a nice break in between, but the main gig that we've got is on the 25th of November. It's not announced yet, but it's an EP release gig. So we're
Brilliant.
releasing an EP in November, so looking forward to that.
Brilliant, great stuff. Well, we do love a bit of an exclusive here on the podcast. So thanks for that. But kind of like then as well, just sort of sticking with the gig theme. are there any sort of like pre-gig rituals that you have, you know, that you go for either as like individuals or as a band together? Or is there like a drink of choice that you've always got to have? What's the process?
Right.
Yeah.
We'll always have a Greg's before a gig.
It's a really typical Northeast thing as well. I think. Like,
Always just that many Gregs about that if we quickly want to get food wherever we are, there's always a Greg's there.
especially in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so reliable.
It didn't start off ironic, but now it just became really ironic. That was just always
Like,
get
it feels
Greg's.
weird if we don't get Greg's.
Yeah.
before now.
Like even in Liverpool the other week, in even
Oh, yeah.
we all went
got Greg's.
and got
Found the
Greg's.
Greg's on the maps.
Somewhere different, and then it ended up with Greg's.
Now
It feels like home, innit? So it's
My feet just take us there, like, honestly.
they've got to inquire about a sponsorship by the sounds of it with Greg's.
we're
We
trying.
are
We're really
trying.
trying.
And are you always sticking to the same Greg's? Is you going for a meal deal? We're having the same or?
I
I get a few
just-
things,
I just
like-
get sausage all day.
Steak bake. My go-to.
Any of the veggie stuff I'll have. Like, yeah.
I'm not going to list them all again.
No,
We'll be here all day.
He lists the entire menu, nearly, so it's like.
There you go, Greg's. If you are listening, Red Remedy love everything off the menu. So there you go. What better could you ask for in terms of a bit of free PR for those guys? What I would like to know, would there be a dream band, either on sort of like the new music sort of like unsigned scene or like even historically, that you guys would love to be able to go and support?
We would do it. I think the Lathams would be a good support
Yeah.
for us.
We've applied to support the lottery winners. So
The lottery winners would be a good one as well, actually, yeah. Franz Ferdinand as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I would say for me as well, like Sam Fender or Stereophonics. I'd love
Yeah.
to support one of them.
Great.
Even like Andrew Cushion, his album's done really well
Yeah.
recently. He's
Yeah.
like, shot up, and he'd be a really good support.
Especially for like round here in the northeast.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just looks great if you support like either Andrew Cushion or Sam Fender. Really.
Yeah.
Be a big opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
Just anyone from around here, like.
So and as you say, yeah, sorry, Andrew Cushin's album, yeah, fantastic. And was that last week? I think that came out. So yeah, he's done brilliantly, and yeah, wish him continued success as well. So here, hopefully, as you guys know, This Is the Music, we like to try and shine a light on unsigned and sort of new artists like Red Remedy that are trying to find their way into the new music scene. So kind of like across the year so far, which bands or artists have you been checking out and have caught your eye?
Swindled.
Swindled are good.
They're a local northeast band. They've just released, what's the song called? They've just released
Oh, Light of the Sun, that's really good.
Light of the Sun. They supported us at Chip Isis, but yeah,
They've got a headline like a few weeks after ours at Indie.
really good local
A
band.
few other decent local bands like Paper Boats and Avalons.
Avalon's have been.
Uh,
Hannah Robson's good as well. There's all sorts. There's loads coming out of the northeast at the moment.
the scene's getting quite big.
Yeah, brilliant. I think who was I talking to? A guy band from your area, Park. Can't remember the
Park
name.
View.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, and they were saying as well that there seems to be quite a few bands actually that are coming out from the northeast, and you know, I think that there does seem to be a certain sort of you know, obsession with just bands either in London or Manchester and Liverpool. In actual fact, you know, there's bands that are absolutely flying like yourselves from all over the place. So I think, yeah, people just open your ears and your minds and have a little look that's around there, because you know, there's probably something actually on your doorstep. You know, so we're going to throw some quick fire questions at you now. So the first question is, and this is for all of you to answer, just jump in again, as I say, at any point. So what's the one item that you wouldn't be able to live without?
My phone.
is there any particular?
I'm pretty addicted to my phone as well. Like,
I would say either my guitar or like a camera. Like I like taking photos.
I'm not even bothering about the bass lines. I will be fun.
you get GarageBand with your
I
phone.
play
Like,
it on your phone, so.
I'll see my mullet. Wouldn't be the same.
No, probably like me cap because I got ginger hair. Hides that quite.
I don't know. I thought my guitars would be another one, but like, no, iPhone's a good answer. Like, I think
That's typical.
it is typical, but
Like
like,
our
I-
generation.
Well, you could. You'd manage.
I'd rather be bollock naked on like a desert island and still have my phone. If that's like one thing I would keep, my phone.
Lauren will be
So
fuming at this. Like,
What do you mean? Like, it's the desert island question. You only have one thing. What would you have?
Probably like food. Something.
That's not an item. That's not an item.
Sounds great. It's not like
Because it's food. It's not an item. It's not like it's not your possession. Like.
if you own, yeah, if you own, great order.
so
Bad argument going on.
Okay, would you rather have feet for hands or hands for feet?
Hands and feet.
Yeah.
You could do something
Yeah.
more.
Hands and feet, like,
You'd be able to climb like mad.
you'd be able to do loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine
You'll
your
be-
shoes though.
You'll be able to
Two
do
guitars.
guitars.
We're gonna have 4 guitars on stage.
Oh, 6.
6 guitars on stage, yeah. 2 keys. 2 companies.
I'll just do it.
Imagine.
You just have a line in your back like that. Like,
If you guys could go on any TV show as a contestant, what would it be?
Family Fortunes.
Oh.
Sky Sports.
I'd like to think.
Yeah, I've just rinsed Newcastle on it.
Probably
I'll have to make.
Soccer EM if that was still going.
As a
Oh,
contestant.
yeah. Shame that's gone.
I'd like to think I could do
Cross
I'm celeb.
I was going to say I'm celeb.
I'd like to think I could do that, but I don't know if I could.
I would try some stuff. I ate them off. And it's
Yeah.
I have money.
fine.
Sorry, you ate a moth. What?
Yeah.
Is this sort of like some sort of like party trick or something? That
It can be. But we were just at a festival and then there was a moth and a spider just happened to be at the same place at the same time. And then I think someone offered like, was it like 20 quid? 40 quid, 20 quid, something like that. Money to eat the side. Yeah. The way little ones, so it wasn't that bad. So I think I'll be alright and I'm celeb.
Brilliant. Okie dokie. So you're hosting a dinner party. Which 3 musicians would you invite?
Paul McCartney.
Liam Gallagher.
Yeah, it's got to be Liam Gallagher.
No,
I'd
Liam
not have
and
Noel.
Liam and Noel.
Three,
I'll have them
top
argue.
3 between one.
Noel would be like.
Oh, 3 each.
Maybe. Start with that.
Go on, then, you-
Oh, no.
Liam Gallagher. Kanye West. Noel Gallagher as well. I would like to say Liam and Noel argue. Dinner.
You got to be mute.
Yeah, are they all musicians?
Yeah, they can be, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I'll do John Lennon, Liam Gallagher, and Tyler the Creator. That'd be such a good circle.
Yeah.
Which is more different now, because you said that.
I know, I like him.
I don't know. No, it's boring.
Headphone.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my god, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just Metallica.
Just the whole of Metallica, basically.
Well, minus one.
Lars.
No, it's, yeah.
So Lars, Kirk, and James. Is that who you'd have out with Metallica?
Yeah.
It's fair.
You
That.
can go. I don't actually.
Oh, I was like still thinking.
No, I'd choose Chris
Stapleton.
Stapleton over Luke Combs.
Would you?
Chris Stapleton, yeah. Sorry.
You've got to go now.
Maybe.
John
I'd
McCauley.
actually,
Yeah.
I feel like pick a big question, yeah. I don't know.
Sam Fender.
Yeah, but that's it. Typical.
Sam Fender, Chris Stapleton, and
Pink.
That's so like yeah.
Oh, I might choose like Iggy Pop.
Oh,
Just off the rails, isn't he?
Oh, Ozzy?
Was he
Oh,
Osborne?
Wait. Here's a bad Johnson. I'll have Ozzy Osbourne. I'll have Paul McCartney, and I'll have Noel Gallagher.
Yeah.
Brilliant, loving those choices there. So, have you got any guilty pleasures, either musical or otherwise?
Susan Boyle. She's always been my guilty pleasure.
To be honest, my guilty pleasure is probably Take That. I love Take That.
Ooh.
I was listening to The Flood the other day.
The Flood, that's a great song.
It is a good song.
It's a
Like.
great song.
I think mine's listening to the Christmas songs in June. Like all year round, I listen to Christmas songs.
So, have you got any plans to write your own Christmas song? Well, so we're not that. Well, I mean, for you, you've been obviously Christmas mode by the sounds of it since the summer, but I mean, as we are getting a little bit nearer now.
Write a Christmas song and then just disappear, but have that played every year.
I want it in my contract. Like, I have to write a Christmas song. That's my one reason.
We've talked about this before. We've got a song, like we've got a Christmas song idea.
Yeah. Someone's gonna steal it now.
No, we can't reveal it.
You'll hear it in a couple of years.
I don't know, mine's like
Oh, I don't know.
old Taylor Swift, maybe. I don't know. Like I like stuff like that. But actually, guilty pleasures, isn't it?
Yeah. Taylor Swift.
Aye. It's guilty pleasures, so. Nah.
You've just triggered like a Taylor Swift.
You said you liked Taylor Swift the other day. I had one on. You went, oh, that's not bad. That one.
Love story is
like I like our country stuff, so it's kind of
So, which band member is always late, be it for gigs, rehearsals, band socials?
Why are you looking at me?
Unanimous.
Yeah, but I'm late.
No, not really, yeah. Because I'm only one to find a proper job.
No, on a Saturday. You do it.
Yeah, I do. I work Saturdays. I've got a proper job. Yeah, I do.
You're every drive.
Do you get your parcels? No, I'm not doing it.
Yes.
You are always late on a Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Rehearsals.
Like the other week, he was late because he was seeing his niece. Like, what?
That also falls on you though, then if you're coming with him.
I know. So if he's late, it makes me late.
But it's still.
Kyle's always late.
No matter what, you're not getting out of that one, I'm afraid, buddy. So, if I was to give you a musical time machine, what era of music would you want to be transported? I say back to, maybe something into the present day, or maybe the future. I don't know.
The
I'd
90s.
say 80s.
I think like late
I go
80s,
70s, I think.
80s just look like such like fun time.
30s. Yeah, 60s. Or I'd go ahead.
60s?
I'd go ahead of when we make it. Hopefully.
Not sound big-headed or anything.
Not sound big-headed, but just to.
When we're rich and famous, that's where I want to go.
Yeah, Rolls Royce.
Brilliant, great stuff. Loving those answers there. And kind of like then, what are the future plans for the band? Sort of like looking ahead to the rest of this year, and obviously sort of maybe fast forwarding 12 months. Not maybe when you've into the rich and famous stage as such, but kind of like, have you got any more plans for gigs? Are you looking at any more releases? What's on the table? What's on the cards for Red Remedy?
EP. It's the main focus for the rest of the year. Like, so all of our songs have been recorded. We've got most of the masters back. We're just waiting for the final EP master, and then everything else is pretty much done for it. Like all of the promo and that's shot, and we want to do our gig for the EP launch and release the EP. We want out as soon as possible, really, because whenever we record something, we're always listening to it ourselves anyway. So it's like we want everyone else to be able to hear it ASAP.
Yeah,
So
short
plan
and
for next year is definitely to play festivals. Hopefully.
yeah,
A lot more
short.
consoles.
Sure, and sorry, just coming back to the EP, is that you looking to get like physical releases for copies out for that, or is that going to be sort of just on the streaming platforms for the time being?
We haven't actually spoke about that.
No, we haven't discussed it yet, so maybe.
Wait and see.
I'd like us to have some, but
Exclusive.
yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be exclusive.
I'll get
Brilliant.
to see my gran, because my gran can never listen to. She can't work Spotify, so I get her a CD of the
It's said.
Brilliant, great stuff. Well, it certainly sounds like you've got a busy sort of couple of weeks or couple of months coming up in terms of what you've just told me there with the EP, and obviously sounds like a couple of gigs as well that we've mentioned as well, and wish you all the success in the world with them, and I'm really looking forward to hearing the results of that when they are ready to come out. But unfortunately, that is the end of the This Is The Music Meets Red Remedy podcast. So Dean, Jack, Kyle, Maddie, and Zach, massive love for coming on. I really, really appreciate it, and glad that we did finally manage to get to sit down and chat with each other. I've really, really enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys have as well. But just before I do let you go, can you let the This Is The Music listeners know the social media platforms and channels that they can find you on?
At Red Remedy Band, or on Twitter, it's at Red Remedy with 2 Y's. So
There you go.
Or on Facebook, just Red Remedy.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's still on the at Red Remedy Band.
Just type it
But
in.
no, if you go on Instagram, is it the link still on? Click the
Link-
link,
yeah,
and all the
link
socials
tree.
are on.
Everything, tickets to our gigs, Spotify, like Apple Music, anywhere you can find us on our link tree. So if you head to our Instagram, it's probably the best place.
Brilliant, great stuff. And we will put those links in the episode bio. And I must admit, I did struggle at the beginning with the Twitter ones. That confused the hell out of me for a while. But yeah, thanks. As I say, thanks very much for coming on. As we said there in the podcast, the new single Catalina is out now on Spotify, and of course as well is Wait as well. So once you've finished listening to this, it's going to be up on Spotify as well. Then head over to the Red Remedy page and go and give those 2 singles a blast, because they are absolutely fantastic. And also as well, the band Red Remedy are supporting Frankie Dobson as well in just a couple of weeks' time. So go and buy a ticket for that. As I say, thanks very much for coming on. I've really enjoyed it. And I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for you in the future, because I'm genuinely really excited by what you've done so far, and can't wait, as I say, to hear what you've got coming up in the very near future.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cheers.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, cheers.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
And all that leaves me to say is to thank everyone for listening to the latest This Is The Music Meets podcast. Please subscribe so you never miss out on any future episodes. And if you're loving the podcast, please leave us a 5-star rating and written review, as it really does help the bands and artists we interview to be discovered. Thanks for listening, and I will see you again somewhere down the road.